Hey guys, okay, so I wanted to share my experience with my back injury just recently because it is something that apparently goes misdiagnosed or missed a lot of the time, and it's really debilitating actually. And so after my research and trying to, kind of go through all this, for those of you that don't know, a lot of you don't know, some of my good friends know, I have been on my back for like 2 weeks. This started like 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. So anyways, this is my story and I want to help anybody I can. And so I'm just getting this out there because I did not know about this. And I am so thankful that I do now. But what I injured is called my SI joint. It's the sacroiliac joint. And so what happened is in the last couple months, I've been moving and I've been refinishing a bunch of furniture and repotting my plants. And I've always sort of had this this sort of nagging lower back pain and hip pain, right hip pain. And for, like 20 years, it's been my whole life. And it's just like, it's gotten worse over the years as I've gotten older, and I've done a lot. Like I've been hard on my body. Like I don't know if I want to say a typical girl, but I'm wrecking cars, wrecking on horses, wrecking ATVs, doing a lot of remodel work, bending over for long periods of time, moving hay bales, putting tile in, putting siding on. Like I've just been hard on my body. And so I've always been in the gym taking care of it and stuff. But leading up to this, like I've always had this kind of underlying it's sort of like low back, and it's just sort of like this nagging underlying kind of pain, nothing like acute or severe. So after I moved and I lifted the plant, I lifted my beautiful Monstera Pam, and anyways, I had no business lifting that plant, let alone carrying her up the stairs. But I've been doing all this bending over. And so anyways, it like all of a sudden it was like one morning, like it wasn't something popped or anything. It's just like I woke up and I was in excruciating pain. So if you've noticed, my mic just went out for whatever reason. So I am now doing a voiceover. And so I'm telling you that I couldn't do anything. I had to lay flat on my back or sit straight up. Like I have not been able to even sit on the couch because I can't lean back at all. So for like 2 weeks, it's been crazy doing hot and cold and Advil. And I even called DoorDash for alcohol because I don't always keep alcohol in the house. And I was like, I need some alcohol. So I called DoorDash. He showed up with some vodka. Awesome. And so I was kind of doing that for a while. And I didn't want to go to the doctor and get an MRI or anything because I could tell it was like muscle or something and not, I wasn't totally sure what it was, but it just didn't feel like actual like spine. So anyways, after all the rest and the hot and the cold and the alcohol, the lower back radiating pain started to subside. And then I could feel like this acute pain in my right, kind of like the right side of my lower back. And that's when I started Googling the anatomy to see what exactly I was dealing with here, like what exactly was being, in pain. And that's when I realized it was the SI joint. And so I started YouTubing it, and that's when I found this amazing chiropractor. His name's like Dr. Pedersen, I think he calls himself. So I will link that below. But anyways, yeah, so that's when I started like learning all of this about what was going on with the SI joint and all of these things that it could be and could have caused it. So I wanted to share it with everyone because I've had so many people that when I start speaking to them about it, they're wondering if that's what their issue is because it gets misdiagnosed or missed altogether a lot. So anyways, we should be back in the normal part of the video. So sorry about the audio, guys. Anyways, enjoy.
people, after I'm telling them about what I'm going through, they're like, oh my gosh, I wonder if that's what my problem is. And if I'd known this 20 years ago, I probably would have not had back pain all these years. So I wish I had. But I'm kind of one of those personalities, like, I just tough it out. I tough out a lot of pain. It's just who I am. I mean, once you get your fingers smeared off, and I've just had to, I've had surgeries that I come out of the surgery and I just don't take any meds, and the surgeon's calling me going, are you sure you don't want meds? I'm like, no, I'm good, I'll just tough it out. This is something I should not have been toughing out, because it gets worse over time when you do that. So anyways, back to the chiropractor. So I'll link him. So I start watching him, and he's just giving all this great information about, the symptoms and what maybe caused it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all of this is like lining up for me. I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds like what I've got. So he talks about this belt, and I will show you the belt at the end, how I put that on. And the belt is called, Tara, I know Dad's going to be like, I'm saying it wrong. Teracentric or Theracentric or something. Esoteric. No, that wasn't it. Anyways, it's this belt, the SI joint belt. So I order the belt that he recommends, and I'll link that below too, so you guys can grab one if you want. It was $50 on Amazon. He said, he's not affiliated with it at all. So we're sitting here. Okay. It is so much better. I can't believe it. So I'm like all elated because I'm back to my walking. So I get the belt. It comes in Amazon, and it's like, he just likes it because it's the way it's designed. It's Velcro is really heavy duty, so you can take it on and off without it wearing out. He said, if you get the belt and it makes a big difference, you put this belt on right, he's like, that's very likely what your issue is your SI joint is out, injured, whatever. So I get the belt. I'm all excited. Put the belt on, and it's like magic. It's the magic belt, and I'm in love with my belt. And so I've been wearing this thing for like a week now. I wanted to try it out before I sort of gave it a review and just sort of see how I did. And I did. And he gives exercises and all kinds of cool stuff. And he gives no-nos, which I've been doing a lot of the no-nos over the years, certain stretches and stuff. So I'll show you that too. But anyways, yeah, I put this belt on, and it's like, and it doesn't get rid of all the pain, but it was huge. Just the relief that you get. So what's happened is this SI joint gets out, and then it's like your pelvic is kind of out, but like in the back. It's hard to explain. But this belt is stabilizing it. It's like putting it back together. And that's why, like, right before I got ready to move, I had my core all tight. Like, my core was good, my butt was good. Like, I've been in the gym, a ton, just getting everything back to where I usually am, and that's why I've been able to tolerate it all these years, because I do stay in really good shape and I stay pretty strong. But then when I started moving, I needed to refinish all the furniture before I moved. I stopped going to the gym because I just didn't have the energy at the end of the day with all the packing and everything. So that being said, I got the belt, started doing the exercises, and it really, it has changed my world. I seriously was so sad. I'm like, what's gonna happen? I'm here by myself, and I have a friend offer to come go to the grocery store for me, and because I literally have I can walk a little bit, standing is okay, but sitting and any sort of lounging is just not permittable. My back is just nope, it's not happening. So I did try to drive last Friday. I'm going to drive to a class tomorrow. Driving is not fun. It wasn't on Friday. It was tolerable, but I definitely wanted to get home and just get back out of the car. So, but at least I'm off my back. I literally get up, eat. I mean, it's been crazy. So anyways, this can happen for wrecks, falls, or just chronic use of your back, just chronically bending over too much and doing too much and not strengthening. So that's his whole thing, is whatever happened to your SI joint, it needs to stay strong around those areas so that it stays supported. And so that's the whole point of the belt. You put the belt on, sort of stabilize, kind of get rid of the pain so you can keep kind of doing your light workouts. And that it has changed dramatically. I'm actually so happy that this happened, because I know it sounds strange, but I'm so thankful, because now I know what it is. Now I know why I've always had this low back pain. So my story, to go back to what happened. So like 20 years ago, I flipped an ATV on myself, like a 500-pound ATV, which he said, like, it can be a wreck, it can be a fall, it can be something traumatic, or it can just be chronic use. So I did that, and I know how to ride. Like, it was my bike. I was with my brother David. If you're watching, you'll remember that, probably. So I was just trying to go up an embankment. It was super sloppy mud. It wasn't strong enough bike to make it. It was a 400. I ended up selling that bike after that and bought a 700. So I had enough bike to get up the stuff I want to get up. And anyways, the bike slid over as I'm trying to go up this embankment, and the rear end fell out from underneath it, and the bike started to come over on top of me. I felt it coming over. I got up, I kind of frogged off of it. And when I landed on my back, but kind of on my right hip, because my mind, it's amazing how fast your mind is going in a scenario like that. I'm thinking, I need to hit the ground and scramble out of the way so that this thing just breaks my legs and not my back. Because I know I'm like been ATVing a long time. My ex-husband was a motocross racer. So I knew enough of this is going to be bad. Because they kill people all the time. It's like, not all the time, but I know numerous people that have been killed by ATVs. So I knew this. So then I'm laying there face down with the bike on top of me. And thank God the bike landed like on my butt and my thighs, on the back of my thighs, on the cushy seat. Because who knows what would have happened. It was not a good position to be in. And I'm yelling, get off me, and my brother's there, and he was on his bike, and he jumps off and somehow got like superhuman adrenaline rush and flipped that 500-pound bike off of me. And I jumped up like in the movies, like, I'm okay, and he was just like ghost white, just grabbed me, hugged me, and so it was like, it kind of just went on with the day. Like, okay, I'm alive. I didn't break anything, and just never realized what had happened until down the road. And so I was like landing on that side, and now looking back, like, I've always thought I had hip problems. I never looked at it as a back problem. My lower back just started hurting more and more over the years, but my hip has always hurt from that. And it pops, like I have to pop it back in, and I'm like, oh, well, it is what it is. Like, I've crashed on horses a million times, horses flipped on me. That isn't the first time I flipped an ATV on myself. I just, like I said, I've been hard on my body. So in that poor bike, an ATV ride like this is a big 4-wheel drive bike. Well, the handles were in my lap, and, the bike ran, we made it back. I got it back on the trailer. But that was a defining moment. And I had no idea. All these years I thought it was my hip. My hip is out, or my hip is just jacked up from this wreck. And if I'd known that, or actually taken the time to look into my body instead of just toughing out the pain, oh my gosh, I might have not had back pain all these years. And again, I'm not a complainer. I'm not somebody that's gonna go do something about it. But anyways, now I know, and I'm so thankful, because I don't have to live, watching my dad live till 92, a late uncle just lived to 101. Like, I could live another 50 years. Like, I don't want to live another 50 years with this kind of pain. So now I know, and that's why all that workout, all that core work that I was doing, I was feeling so much better. Like, my back was feeling better because I was building those muscles that support it. So anyways, that is my story, and so I wanted to share and help other people because so many people are like, oh my gosh, like I've been having low back pain and nobody can ever figure out what it is. And like from what I've discovered, this gets missed a lot. And even Dad said that, like we were talking about, because I've never mentioned it to him really. It was like, I just got back pain. Everybody has a little back pain or whatever. And he said the same thing. A lot of like orthopedic surgeons and stuff will miss it as well. So anyways, I'm very happy with my belt and my workouts, and I'm feeling a little bit better every day. And so I will show you how I put the belt on, and then yeah. Okay, so here is the magic belt, and it doesn't look like anything fancy. This is the Sacroiliac band, so I will link that below. But it comes like this. It's got this little thing. So I put this on the back, and it goes. So it's like these two. So the pain was here, and then the sharp pain is like right here, and it just jets down into my hip. And that's just kind of been like all these years. I had this pain that I thought, well, I just wrecked on the bike. It is what it is. And now, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so much better. So this thing, did I do it right? Yeah. So I make sure that little line is like right above, without a better term, my butt crack. So that's kind of, you want it to pull these bones in, and then you make it tight, like not crazy tight, but snug. And then it's got these two that are very elasticy. And you go like that and like that. And it could probably be a little tighter, but that's the thing. And it's like, I feel it just now sitting here. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so much better. So anyways, that is the belt. And then, oh yeah, the exercise that he said not to do, and I'm not going to do it because it hurts like heck. But it's like these where you put your leg up and then you push down. I mean, there's so many that I've been doing all of these years, and they feel good. That's the thing, is some of this feels so good in the moment, and then the pain comes back. And so it's like, what? You know, like I'm stretching and stretching and stretching, and I'm a stretcher. Like I'm a the yoga poses. That's another one, like Brave Warrior and all that. Like I love yoga poses and for stretching. And apparently for people that have SI joint issues, those are no-nos. So maybe once you rebuild yourself, I think he's talking about just like rebuilding it. And of course, you know, the longer it's been injured, the longer it takes to heal it again. So, and I also forgot to mention that he said like adjustments at the chiropractor is not good for SI joint, because adjustments are for mobility, and you're trying to stabilize this area. So that's a big no-no movie. You know, maybe in the future, but not while you're trying to work on it. The other thing he said is really important is posture, which I struggle with. And people say that, oh, you have great posture. I'm like, when you see me, I'm in heels, but I can't wear heels that much anymore. They're hurting my feet. So I have to really focus on my posture, being a very tall woman. And anyway, I trained horses my whole life. Like I started riding when I was like 6 or 7. And it's like, you just get that rounded shoulder. And I did show too, but I mostly did a lot of training, which is like this, you know, you're hunched over, working the horse, working the reins. I remember like by the time I was 18 or 19, my legs were super bowed. And my mom was like, oh, I hope your legs aren't going to stay like that. So they're not. You can see they went back to normal. But anyways, so I got like that posture. Like I just spent my whole life, you know, you're jumping horses and rounding these shoulders and stuff. And so I've had to like retrain all of this to you know, have really good posture. So the posture is important for this all, because I would be like stretching out this lower back. And so to bring everything back and keep it tight, keep the belly sucked in, the butt tight, that keeps these joints, this SI joint, supported. So there's lots of different things and behaviors I was kind of doing that were making this worse. And just from people I've been talking to, they're, you know, kind of doing similar things or, you know, making it worse. So I hope this helps. anyways, that is it. And I hope you guys like my little tutorial. I'm just like so happy that I feel good and I have an answer, because that's like the worst, to have that kind of pain and then not know what's going on. And so now I know what's going on. I don't have to go have any MRIs if it got worse or something down the road, but it oftentimes gets misdiagnosed as like a bulging disc or a herniated disc or this and that, and it's nothing you can really see on an MRI or an X-ray. It's just like this belt, and he's got a couple little tests that he does that I can't do by myself, and I don't need to because I'm loving the magic belt so much. That was a big one. He's like, you put this belt on and you get some pretty immediate relief, like not 100% relief, but significant, and I just feel supported. So like now I can go back to walking, and he said the low walking is good, so I've been stuck to my flat route now for a couple of weeks. I just got back the last few days being able to walk again. Like it's been on and off, and I just made it really bad. Like all of a sudden it got really bad because I was bent over brushing my teeth and I coughed and it just like blew it out. I don't know. Anyways, the body is getting old and sensitive, but that is my story, and I hope it helps somebody out there, because it has helped me so much to have this belt and find that doctor or that chiropractor. So I will link it below, and if you guys have any comments or questions, or you had the same experience, please leave it below so I can hear kind of your journey too, and maybe help each other, because this is going to be a fairly long haul. It's not an easy fix, but anyways, I have a plan now and I'm so excited. So I hope that helps everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.